to the University of the Bahamas, especially for our guests. We are delighted to be here on this day for the 2022-2027 Industrial Agreement for the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas. My name is Astronique Bo. I am the Senior Manager of Communications in the Office of University Relations here at University of the Bahamas. Before we continue, I'm going to ask you to kindly silence your phones so that we don't have any interruptions. This is indeed a monumental occasion, and bringing remarks today will be President Janine, followed by Mr. Daniel Thompson. President Janine.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday afternoon at the end of the semester. All the grades are in, I hope, and we're getting ready to graduate. I don't know how many students this year, and it's a time for all of us, for me to say thank you. I want to say thank you for a couple of things. I want to say thank you to the faculty and staff and academic administrators, just because it's a good thing to say thank you, librarians, at this time of year when I know you've had a busy and intense year. And I also want to say thank you through UTEB for this incredibly happy occasion where we are signing an agreement for 2022-2027. I was resisting saying this because I don't want you to change your mind, but I think it is amazingly to your credit and ours that we have signed an agreement for 2022 to 2027. Congratulations. What it does is it brings to all of us, we hope, a climate of stability, confidence, and I'm going to say a little resilience. And the final thing is determination, because this is the year we're also doing something else that's very important in our story. I wonder whether anybody knows what we've been working on this year. Okay, a little louder, folks.
Accreditation.
And I want to say a word about that because I think, when we go back to last summer when we started talking about accreditation, and I think it might have been Professor Thompson here who said, been there, done that, Groundhog Day, and but with the work that the faculty have done across the university, with the support of Dr. Oriaki and the deans and the academic administrators, I don't know if Dr. Oriaki has told you about we went from something like 19% achievement in December. Did you tell him?
Yes.
Do you know what the number is now? 65%. So, but, that's really a tribute to the faculty. And to think that we did this all while also negotiating a collective agreement. Now, that might not be your history, but, in my past, sometimes negotiations have been a little lengthy, a little stressful. And I don't think that, I know these haven't been lengthy, but I don't think they've been without stress or without difficulty. And so it's a time also for me to thank, on behalf of lead negotiators at UTEB, which I understand are Jenny Isaacs-Dotson. Thank you, Jenny. And Karima Smith. Thank you. I also want to thank Dr. Oriaki. I think you know Dr. Oriaki. Have you ever noticed that she's everywhere? We think she actually has a body double that does all the things that she does, because either that or she doesn't sleep and she'll soon have a psychotic break, but we're hoping that's not going to happen. I want to thank Dr. Oriaki. I also want to thank you very much. And we had government support in this negotiation from the Archdeacon James Palacios, which I don't think is here today. But I want to give a big round of applause also to Mr. Bernard Evans, who is here today. It takes goodwill and time and a lot of effort for for groups of people to come to an agreement sometimes on difficult issues. And I think this was particularly in some ways challenging, because as we also move to accreditation and to things that are new, and in a way, I also feel like I want to say, but something like UB 2.0, when we're trying to do things, over the coming months and years that are really tied to making ourselves better, it's really, really a great joy to feel that we are doing this together, and that this is done with the faculty, not to the faculty. And we will commit to continue to do that in that manner. And with that, I want to say a very, very big thank you. And I will invite my fellow president to come and give some remarks. Thank you, everyone. Rejoice. Thank you.
Solidarity. Forever. Solidarity. Forever. Solidarity. Forever. Madam President Janine Hodder, thank you so much for such kind remarks. And you introduced my team. So I would just like to say that we have the greatest team of negotiators ever. Among those who were not introduced, we have our treasurer, Gustav. And then we have Felicia. She was our secretary and recorder. And our very faithful assistant secretary, Mr. Ernesto Williams. And from among your choice, your faculty, is Dr. Dion Hepburn. Is he there? There he is. Dr. Dion Hepburn. And then we had also Dr. Cheyenne Adderley, representing the youth and the 20s and 30s of our faculty. And of course, the person who I can rely mostly upon during all of our negotiations and the day-to-day operations of the union is our First Vice President, Dr. Anastasia Brown. So I know that for many of you, you've only been hearing from her and only seeing her because she's doing such a fabulous job, and she allows me to get in trouble in other areas. Also, on the university's side was one of our own, if I may claim it too, the Honorable Senator Eresia Hepburn, Forbes. And to me, that was one of the strengths of UTEB, because we have our people are all over. And in fact, I like to invite the president, because we do have capacity that even she can become a member of UTEB. So just sign the form and we'll welcome you. Okay? Right? So, and these, as Dr. Hodder, President Hodder mentioned, Mr. Bernard Evans and the father, they were very critical in our negotiations. I want to take that back to the ministry, that their involvement really brought synergy to what we were doing. And our negotiations took 2 months. Do you hear me? 2 months. So it, it's due to the singing and the praying of Father, and we had a good team. I think this, and I want the press to get this statement in particular. This, what you see here today represents an example of what trade unionism ought to be about, where we work collaboratively with industry, with our partners, because the success of the university is our success. Yes. Vice versa, once your workers are satisfied and excited about work, the institution is guaranteed to succeed. Yeah. So that is an important lesson you see here. And that's why you don't see no demonstration over here today. You only see smiles, because that is how we do things here in academia. And that's how we do things here at the University of the Bahamas. And President Hodder, your team, VPAA, Dr. Oriaki, and the finance person, Oh, there he is, my namesake. Errol Thompson. Give him a hand. He was a fabulous. All that back pay you got and stuff, he made it happen. Right? So we thank him. And then we have the Miss Chase, is she here? The Human Resources. She was also very critical in what we did. And so today we have reached a point where we are about to sign an agreement. Many of you, all of you, have already benefited from some aspect. That little thing you got in the Christmas? Yeah. that was your union at work. Okay, that little thing you got. So, and there are bigger things in July and August that you're going to get some more stuff. And as you can see, the promotional exercise is proceeding, and the relationship with the Academic Senate is working quite well. And then the whole issue of accreditation, there is collegiality, there is camaraderie as we work through this very difficult process. All of that has to do with good labor relations. And we want to maintain it. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all of you, our members, for being here. Thank the university for their support, and thank especially our negotiation team, former Senator Jenny, and all of you. I do appreciate your efforts and your determination in bringing us to this point. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Thompson and President Janine, for your remarks. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for the actual signing of the agreement, I'm going to ask those parties that are participating in the signing to kindly make your way to the table at the front. Whitney for 3 more hands. Hold on, sorry.
start with like a round of applause, please.
Hold on, sorry. Slide over so we ain't in this frame. Okay, we're gonna ask a few other people to join us for this photo.
It's not a marriage certificate.
Our news. As it relates to the agreement, are you able to speak to some of the benefits that your members will get from this agreement? And are any of them retroactive dating back, or is it just something that will start when this agreement begins this year?
As I mentioned during my presentation, that members have benefited since December from the agreement because we concluded our agreement at the end of last year, and therefore there were back pay and various increments that were paid as in December of last year. And so the agreement goes back to 2022, and so some of the payments were made already, and we anticipate during the summer there'll be another tranche of payment, and then again in December of this year. In terms of some of the benefits, we have expanded, like for example, we allowed political leave, and we have clarified the leave so that persons are able to, if they decide, in this case, we have Senator Ericia Forbes here with us, who is able to serve in the Senate and remain as a part of the faculty here at the university. Those are some provisions that we have provided. We also, and there were also quite a few monetary benefits that were given. There was a restructuring of the salary scale with additional increments, opening up of the scales, and some acceptable increases were provided.
If I may add, thank you. If I may add, the industrial agreement is to look into strengthening relationships with the faculty union and the administration of the institution. And it is to speak to terms and conditions of employment. And that is exactly what we did within this agreement. We looked at strengthening some of those terms and conditions of employment. For instance, we talked about teaching duties of faculty. We made sure clarify how many hours that faculty are to work. We spoke to terms such as online teaching, making it equivalent, and how those are going to operate in the university setting. We talked about how we're going to delve into promotions and make sure that they align with best practices of universities and as we're going towards accreditation. So not only did we look at financial benefits, but we worked in tandem to make sure that the terms and conditions of the faculty of this institution is in alignment with those of institutions around the world.
Are you able to put a dollar value on this agreement, Dr.?
I don't think we're going to put a dollar value on that agreement today. As I said, we're looking at sort of from 22 to 27. We're looking at improvements on a regular basis, and I think that that's where we'll leave it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. Any more questions?
One more comment. As the union continues its journey to represent tertiary educators in the Bahamas, and this is very newsworthy, we are also pleased, President Hutter, to announce that we have recently accepted into our membership another cohort of tertiary educators from the University of the West Indies. And indeed, the persons who teach in the School of Clinical and Medical Research at the University of the West Indies, they are now members of the UTEB. So let's give a round of applause. And they are here today represented to witness this type of relationship. And we envisage that perhaps as we develop and receive recognition from the University of the West Indies, our premier regional institution, that the same type of collegiality and camaraderie that exists here at the university, we are hoping to duplicate that relationship with UWI. So you have set the foundation, Madam President, and we intend to continue to build on that foundation.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. You know, it's always difficult not to want to have the last word a little bit here, but I just, you know, really what I want to say again is, you know, it makes an entire difference to an entire country when the national university can sit down between the administration, the faculty, the staff, and look at daunting challenges like meeting national and international accreditation and do so with faith in one another and confidence that we can achieve the goal we set for the benefit of the country. I am enormously grateful to the UTEB leadership and to the faculty for making that possible, because in all relationships, you only control 50%. And if you're going to have a successful relationship, you're not going to get a 50%. So you need to have a partner that's willing to meet you so that we all succeed. And it is that joint success that I am most grateful to be celebrating today. Thank you very much. Thank you.